If you think Stephen King books are disturbing and dark, then wait until you hear about the ones on this list.
The horrors that unfold in his books are fictional, but in this case these books contain real curses and spells that can summon demons or even cause the reader's death.
So let's talk about all this and more only in today's video. Starting off this countdown, we have the Devil's Bible. The Devil's Bible, otherwise known as the Codex Gigas, is a massive book said to harbor an immense amount of negative energy. I mean, duh, it's called the Devil's Bible for a reason. So basically, legend goes that this 157-pound book was written by a monk. But this monk broke his spiritual vows, and so he was sentenced to be sealed behind a brick wall and left to die. But the night before his death, he realized he wouldn't be able to finish this book. So he summoned Lucifer and asked him to complete the book for him. In return, he offered him his soul. So legend goes that the book was finished by the devil himself. What's creepier is that some of the pages are filled with drawings of the devil and other demonic entities. On one page, there's a 19-inch drawing of Satan. The book also contains a bunch of dark rituals and texts. If the book got in the wrong hands, who knows what damage they could do.
Coming in at number 9, we have the Voynich Manuscript, a book that has baffled all of the best minds in the world. It was discovered by antiquarian book dealer Wilfred M. Voynich near Rome in an old chest in 1912. It immediately caught his attention due to its lackluster appearance, which was unlike all the other pretty ones in the compartment. But what he found inside became a mystery that keeps getting stranger. Apparently the codex was purchased by Roman Emperor Rudolph II, who believed it was written by Roger Bacon. But Bacon lived in the 12th century and the paper carbon dated to the 15th century, so already Inside the book has remained incomprehensible to even the most impressive cryptographers and linguists. They've identified at least 25 to 30 characters, and though the writing and illustrations don't make sense, it doesn't appear to be gibberish. Alan Turing, all the way to artificial intelligence, have all taken turns, but to no avail. From images of plants long extinct and intricate astrological signs, no one knows what the hell it means, but many speculate that it could have been written, get ready for this, by aliens. Of course, when we don't know the answer, aliens! It's the only logical solution. But if it does belong to aliens, what if they want it back?
And at number 8, we have Untitled grimoires. Grimoires are witches' spell books, but it's said that they need to be burned after the witch's death. However, this one was not burned. Instead, it was kept, and in 2013 it sold on a website. It was sold for $13,865. That's a lot of money for a book. But here's the thing, the book came with a warning. It said, and I quote, "To those not of the craft, the reading of this book is forbidden. Proceed no further, or justice will exact a swift and terrible retribution, and you will surely suffer at the hand of the craft." So basically, the book is cursed if it falls into the wrong hands. This book is also said to contain a number of curses, enchantments, and spells. Also, it tells you how to perform an exorcism, you know, just in case you summon a demon and then everything goes wrong. I mean, any book that tells you how to summon ghosts and demons should just be burned. I'm sorry.
Coming in at number 7, we have Tomino's Hell, and here is yet another book that you should never read, because if you do, your lives and the lives of those you love could be in jeopardy. Tomino's Hell was written by Yamamoto Uniko in a book that's titled The Heart is Like a Rolling Stone. Legends of how this curse started vary, but results such as vomiting glass and loved ones dying tragic deaths continue to be associated with the poem. One radio show host tried to read it aloud on air, and halfway through started to feel ill and disturbed and wasn't able to finish it. He continued to feel ill, and a few days later he got into an accident that resulted in him having to get 7 stitches. To this day, he tries not to even think about the poem and warns other people against it. But I thought I'd surprise everyone today and read the poem out loud, so we'll see. But let's see if this myth is true, shall we? Here's the poem. Just kidding! I'm not gonna read it out loud, and nor should you.
In our 6th spot, we have the Book of Soyga. Sounds weird, I don't know if I pronounced it wrong, but we're gonna roll with that. This book has quite the history behind it. So it was created in the 16th century and is a Latin essay all about demonology. Apparently, there are only 2 copies in existence. One was owned by a man named John Dee and his brother. They both were determined to translate the entire book. Upon translating it, they figured it was a book filled with dark rituals and incantations. But the last 36 pages were untranslatable. He became so obsessed with trying to figure out what the last pages read that it drove him to madness. After his death, the books were lost for the longest time until 1994. That's when 2 copies were found. Now legend goes that those that successfully decipher the final pages of the book will die within 3 years. So it's up to you. Will you tempt fate and decipher the pages? Or should we burn the book so that no one else dies? I'll go with the latter.
The Orphans story coming in at number 5. This book started out innocent until it started racking up victims. The Orphans story is an adventure book about a Spanish teen who ventures to Lima to party like there's no tomorrow, and then there's other adventures and romantic stories and yada yada yada. It was written by an Augustinian friar named Martin de Leon between 1605 to 1615, who'd also been to Lima, but he never wanted to get it published for fear that it would taint his chances in becoming archbishop, but that didn't stop people from trying, and maybe it should have. When it was rediscovered in the Hispanic history archives, many were discouraged from working on it as it was believed to be cursed. Dun dun dun! Those who had tried to publish it before had all died, one from a random car accident and the other from an entirely mysterious disease. No one touched it for years until one brave man took on the task once more. It was actually published for the first time in 2018, and the publisher believes that the curse has finally been lifted. Not that there wasn't a curse in the first place, but like maybe things will get worse now, who knows? Maybe the curse is waiting for, I don't know, 3 years.
In our 4th spot, we have the Book of Sacred Magic. This 15th century book was written by a man named Abra Malin, who was a mage, aka that's just a fancy word for a magician. Well, he wrote this book for his son, and apparently it's cursed, because why not give your son a cursed book? I mean, it probably wasn't cursed when he got it, but that's besides the point. Anyways, in the 1900s, the book was translated into English, and soon after, people deemed it a curse. Throughout the book, it talked about rituals on how to control your demons. Abra believed that every person had their own demon, not like a metaphorical one, but like a literal one. It also talked about how to perform other supernatural acts. In the end, it was believed that whoever owns a copy will be haunted by the spirits, and bad luck will befall on them. Again, possessions and haunting and bad luck, it's a no from me.
Coming in at number 3 with the Necronomicon. Again, I'm gonna bring this up, but you know that scene from The Mummy when Evie is like, what harm has ever come from reading a book? And then proceeded to unleash hell by reading the Book of the Dead? Well, lesson learned, right? No, because the Necronomicon, also called the Book of the Dead, is an ancient grimoire, and as we know, we should burn grimoires, but we don't. And it's bound in human skin and has inspired many horror films like Evil Dead. This book is so powerful, some even say one word from its pages and horrors beyond your wildest nightmares will emerge. This book was featured as a fictional object in H.P. Lovecraft's stories, and he even allowed authors to cite it as a source so it could become more real. Lovecraft insisted it was made up, but many tried and true fans of the occult think otherwise. They think that the book in fact exists, but it's hidden so it will never cause any harm. HP says the idea for the book came to him in a dream, but many say that the spirit of the book chose Lovecraft to reveal it, meaning there are people hunting for the real thing. My advice? Don't. Leave it alone. Again, we don't need it. Demons can stay where they are, okay?
In our 2nd spot, we have The Great Omar. This is another book that has quite the dark past. So basically, in 1909, a man named Sangorsky decided to create a much fancier version of the book, The Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. I'm gonna apologize right now, I know I totally butchered that name. Now, he bejeweled it and made the cover look absolutely beautiful. It took him 2,500 hours to create. In the end, it had 1,500 precious/semi-precious stones, 4,967 leather inlays, and 600 sheets of 22-karat gold leaf. It's honestly a very beautiful book. But the thing is, no one wanted to buy this super expensive book when they could literally just get one for much cheaper. But eventually it was put up for auction, but it only sold for £450. Now, the book was shipped, but it never got to the buyer. Why? Well, the ship it was being transported on was the Titanic, and the book went down with the ship. Then only a few weeks later, the creator of this book mysteriously drowned. Ain't that a freaky coincidence? But that's not all. A second version was created called the Great Omar II. It was then placed in a bank vault. But the bank was hit by a bomb during the London Blitz of World War II, and this copy was destroyed as well. Then a third copy was created because they didn't learn their lesson, and it was donated to the British Library, where apparently it's still to this day. But due to its dark past, many believe that this book is cursed, and that bad things will happen to whoever owns it.
Coming in at number 1, you know what sucks is that there's a PDF version of this book that Lindsay and I found, and we were both like, no! Like, we opened it by accident, we're like, no, I don't want to read this, I don't want to read this, I don't want to read this. It's really creepy. So this one is The Lesser King of Solomon. The Lesser King of Solomon, or the Goetia, is one of the most famous grimoires and contains a summoning spell for over 72 demons, and no one knows who wrote it. Written entirely in Latin, the book dates back to the 14th and 15th century, though any remaining manuscripts date to the 16th and 18th. Legend has it that King Solomon originally had it written for his son and asked him to bury it with him in his grave when he died. But supposedly, a group of Babylonian philosophers discovered it while repairing his tomb, and one of them was said to have had a vision sent to him by an angel that told him to hide the book from the unworthy. He did so by casting a spell on it, which clearly didn't work. The first few chapters contained instructions on how to summon and trap demons in this world, which, by the way, why? I doubt they're as sexy as Lil Nas, okay? But if you're looking for love, the book also contains instructions on how to find it and also how to become invisible. Obviously now, copies of this book can be found on the internet, but please, for the love of all this stuff, like, just don't. Just burn it, you know? Have someone burn it from the internet. It's just too much out there. We don't want to know what's on the other side. Just yet, anyways.
Now, let's be serious here for a minute. This message is for all those tweens who decided it was a good idea in middle school to say Bloody Mary in the school washroom or at sleepovers. I did that.
Yeah, I know the girls who did. And this is for the message for all the people who want to light the black flame candle, and all the Eevees who think no harm has ever come from a book.
Stop it.
Right now.
We know what you're thinking. You want to read these books really bad. But for the love of all that is rainbow and sunshine, don't even try.
We can't handle any more ridiculousness this year, so this is your last and final warning. Do not go near these books.
But if you guys like this video, remember to like and follow and let us know some of the scariest books that you've read. And now we are going to be shouting out comments from our other collab, which was Top 10 Dark North Sentinel Island Theories. Luke Olbrich commented, "Channel never fails to interest me." Well, that is a good thing.
Thanks.
You know, got lots of content daily. Lots.
Well, this one's coming from our familiar face, Renell Racing. You both so funny together.
We can't touch or hug. Blackbeard commented. I had to do it like the pirate. Blackbeard commented. Kind of a cold welcome there. Hello. That's literally because remember when we did the collab and I was like, and we have, and you're like, Rachel, I don't know what else to say.
Me.
It's fine. This is Rachel. She's amazing. We love her.
Thanks. I'm having fun. Robert Wells Robass. Damn, them top 10 girls are so dope. Thanks, Robert Wells.
Thanks. We're super cool.
My mom thinks I'm cool.
Literally.
No, she doesn't. Anyway.
Oh, stop it. Alright guys, that's all the comments we're showing up for today's video. Make sure to comment something down below for a chance to be featured in our next comment shout out. And as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more amazing content. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan.
And I'm Rachel Fisher.
I'll see you when I see ya.
This away.
I can.
Alright.
Good old Stephen King.
Good old Stephen King.
If you think Stephen King's books?
Stephen King books.
Okay, it makes sense. Okay, I thought it was like little. Okay, anyway.
You need books by Stephen King?
Nah.
Okay.
Okay.
They get it. They know.
Okay. It was sold for $13,080 and $65. Why did I write it like that? $13,865. So,
Let's talk. Do you want to?
Yeah, I will.
Okay, yeah.
And at number 8, we have Untitled grimoires.
Grimoires.
Thank you. I love how I turned to you just expecting you knew how it is. Grimoires.
I bet it's not real, but then it is. Top 10 disturbing books. What was it, Chris? It's too
Chris,
far.
you ruined it.
Chris, come back.
Baby, come back. In our fourth spot, we have the Book of the Sacred Magic. No, the Book of the The Book of the Sacred Magic, or the Book of Sacred. Bro, I don't know.
We know.
That was like, we know.
We know.
Okay,
Go
you
for
can
it.
go. Oh, for me?
Yeah.
We know that.
What harm has ever come from reading a book? That was awful. We should never do that again. Absolutely not. It got you.
I was over there. The editors probably can hear it. I was over there. I'm like, Rachel, I was about to leave the room if she was gonna do that. I'm not trying to die and be cursed. We all know that they're gonna read it and be like, so they're telling us to read these books?
I know, that's the thing. It's like, that's the danger of putting these books out there. It's like, I'll be like, oh, I want to try it. Don't try it.
Don't do it, guys.
Like,
Don't
you're
do
that
it.
person in the movie who does the stupid things and then
That's
all
you.
hell breaks loose. Don't be that person.
Don't do it.